Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Well, recently I had a phone consultation with Mary, and Mary's concern was that she had heard that it wasn't safe traveling in Mexico. Did she need, and what did she need in the case of documents? What would she need to be able to travel in Mexico without being jeopardized of getting thrown in a detention center or possibly even kicked out of the country? And so she wanted to travel here and just have a peaceful time. And so we're going to answer that in this video. Well, did you know that I offer you the opportunity to speak with me, and that's through a private phone consultation. It's 50 minutes to 1 hour. There is a charge for that. At the end of the video, if you're interested, you'll see a little pop-up that'll say book now. It's at the bottom left-hand corner. And if you click on it, it'll send you over to a booking site and you can reserve a day and a time with me. Mary said that she had seen a video that we made about 6 months ago where a gentleman had been detained and he was thrown into a detention for 5 days. And then let's listen to Randy tell us about his detention time in Mexico.
And then we go in, they get all my stuff in, and never any hostile aggression toward me. There was no weapons on any of them, anything like that. But they were definitely like, you got to do this. And I thought, well, here, that's what I got to do. And so I go upstairs to this lady who processed me into the facility. And she was very demeaning. And I was just another piece of border hopping scum. Yeah. They took, I had to give them my belt, had to take my shoes off because they had shoestrings. So I guess I wouldn't commit suicide or whatever, or kill somebody else. Yeah. They pushed me through this door. And it was this big steel door. I'll tell you, when that thing banged shut, it was a sound I'll never forget. Wow. And, you know, when I've never been in jail for anything. So this was a brand new experience.
Yeah. In a different country, and you don't speak the language.
Different country, don't know customs, culture, or language. What is going on? And so, yeah, I was just ready to blow a gasket and freaking out. Yeah. And so they put me through this door, bang shut, and one of the guys is way taller than as tall as me, 6 foot plus or whatever, a big tattoo across his forehead, tattoos everywhere, on neck and face and everything, real lean, big muscles, and I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to have to fight my way through the situation. Like on my toes, waiting for this stuff to happen, and I just was trying to process what is going on here.
He was politely taken to an airport and was sent out of the country. So those are questions that she had and her fear. So she wanted to get this clarified before she came down into Mexico. The other thing that Mary was concerned about, she had heard that she was going to need to have a permanent address for the time that she'd be traveling here in Mexico. She's going to be traveling just for 2 months. And so she didn't know what to do about that because she really would not be able to provide a permanent address. And so she was afraid. Remember, she wants to come down, she wants to enjoy Mexico, but she doesn't want to have the hassles. So this is the reason that she contacted me to get this clarified. This way, her time in Mexico would be smooth and she'd have a great time here. You do not have to show a permanent address. If you have a receipt from an Airbnb or something like that, you can take that along with you, but they're not going to ask for a permanent address to enter into Mexico or stay in Mexico.
Subscribe every Friday, 5 o'clock at California time. We have a new video for you to watch it.
Well, what you'll find in coming into Mexico, you have to have a tourist card. A tourist card is an FFM form that you fill out at the border, or if you fly in, you typically, in the old way, is you fill out a form and then you handed it into immigration. They put down how many days you would stay in Mexico, and then you would carry that form with you. Today, though, what they've done is they've eliminated that form at most entries into Mexico, at least flying into Mexico. At the borders, I'm really not sure. They may make you still fill out that form. But what will happen is Mary, when you come in, you're going to come into immigration from the airport. You're going to hand them your passport. You're going to possibly, if you have a return ticket, you may hand them the return ticket also, so they can see how many days they're going to allow you to stay in here. A lot of the airports will give you automatically 180 days. But Mary, what I want you to do is I want you to look at the stamp that they'll put in your passport and make sure it's really clear that it is, let's say if you're going to be here 60 days, it's at least 60 days, maybe 70 days, but they may automatically put in 180 days, then you're safe. If they put in a number that's lower than the amount of time you want to stay, ask them, can you correct that? Another thing, Mary, that is not a bad idea, if you have booked and you're going to be traveling to different locations and you've booked maybe different Airbnbs, maybe you can show them a receipt of those bookings so they know how long you're going to stay in the country. Now, if you come to one place and you just stay in one place, then let's say a hotel or an Airbnb, if you can bring a receipt on that, that will not hurt at all. Some people actually will bring in a return plane ticket. So it shows when they enter and when they want to leave. And that gives the authorities a guideline in there. But most generally, you'll come through, they'll automatically stamp it, they'll write something down, but look at it and make sure that it is proper amount of days that will work for you. Now, Mary, this is very important, is on the amount of days that they put in your passport, you need to make sure that you're out of the country in that amount of time. Don't overstay that time. That's where people get in trouble, okay? And what would happen if you did, then they would fine you when you were to leave the country, and they would give you a fine based on how many days extra that you've stayed. So don't get that fine. Just make sure you leave in the proper time that's stamped in your passport.
Don't go, we're not done yet. Don't go, we're not done yet.
So Mary, about the interview that we did with the gentleman that did get detained for 6 days, wasn't jail, but he said it felt like jail. Well, the reason why he did not have any documents. He did not have that FMM tourist card with him. So he didn't have anything stamped in his passport or anything like that. If you don't have that, that's where the trouble could happen. So if you're traveling, let's say, by bus through Mexico, they may pull you over because immigration is starting to pull over more people, and make sure that you have your passport and you have your documents with you. And so this way you will not have any trouble. But if you have it with you and you carry it with you, and if you do decide to carry it with you, make sure you wear a money belt. Make sure it's not in a place that you could get pickpocketed.
Make a comment.
Now, if you do get pulled over by the bus, the Government National Guard or the immigration, they are the ones that are authorized to be able to check immigration paperwork. A policeman does not have the right to ask for that. The policeman can ask for your driver's license, the registration of your car, and car insurance. So if you're driving a car, Mary, make sure you have all of those with you and present that to a policeman. But you do not have to present that immigration card or your passport showing you have that FMM equivalent of a tourist card with you. If a policeman stops you, immigration, that's a different story. And usually they're checking you out at roadside blocks, and also where they come on to the bus, and they will possibly even take everybody off of the bus, even if you have that paperwork, and they may go through your luggage to see if you have any contraband or something like that. But so be safe, carry all the proper documents. This was on Facebook. Somebody said, well, just take a copy of it on your phone or something like that. Well, let me be clear with you. Legally, that is not proper. They really want to see the physical passport or something that shows that you have that FMM stamped in your passport. It's a hassle, but you'll have to do a workaround with that. Just get in the habit of maybe carrying it with you. For us residents that live here, we have to carry our immigration card with us, the actual one, not a copy of it. We have to carry it with us. If we get pulled over, we show our resident visa card, and then that solves the problem. If a problem was to occur, they'll accept that from us. A lot of times people like to look at social media pages to get their information because there's a lot of people, that share on there. But there's a lot of information that isn't correct about living in Mexico. And in saying that, I want you also to verify what I say, okay? Because I'm doing my best. I go to immigration attorneys to get information and updates, but it changes so much down here that sometimes it's already changed in that. So verify even what I say. Look at other YouTube videos and you'll see a consistency. Then say, okay, that information is correct because it does change down here. So an example of laws being changed, it wasn't too long ago that they made you fill out a form and that was your FMM tourist card. Now today they've changed that law. You don't have to do that, but they stamp it in your passport. That's the new law. We have over 600 videos that are free. Check them out. This is a little side note. Doesn't have to do with somebody that's coming down for 2 months. But as permanent residents here in Mexico, what we do is we actually carry in our wallet our attorney's contact information. This way, if for some reason we were detained, possibly we would be in a car accident, and if there's any type of blood in a car accident, they can take you into the police department, both parties, to see which one of them is at fault, and they can detain you up to 2 days. And so if we have our attorney's card with us, we call them, they send a representative down to argue our case or help in the process of seeing who was guilty, and then maybe we can be released and don't have to be detained for that 48 hours. Well, let's say entering the country, going through immigration, it's tense and stuff like that. Or let's say you are traveling and you get pulled over and immigration wants to see your paperwork. Well, just be polite. Now remember, you're visiting another country, it's their country, it's their laws. Be polite. You'll get by with more. If you get defensive, that can really detain you even more so and escalate a bigger problem. So be respectful, be polite, and it'll run a lot smoother. Definitely will run a lot smoother for you. Remember, they're just doing their job. Be patient. Anybody who would like to support our endeavors of making videos and encouraging us to make videos, well, check out our Patreon account, and we'd appreciate that very much. Next week, we're going to look at rentals starting at $450 a month to $2,000 a month here in Lake Chapala, Ajijic area. Stay tuned for that next week. Lori is not using her walker anymore. She gets physical therapy 3 times a week, and she's doing very well. Now, she had some friends that wanted to come over, see her. They made the lunch and brought everything over, and so her socializing girlfriends are just hanging around out here. So Lori is just drinking in the great love that she's getting from all of you who make comments and give her your words of encouragement. Please keep doing that. Every Friday at 5 p.m. California time, a new free video. Hey, you see my picture at the bottom right? Just click on it and you'll be subscribing. Also, look over there on the left. See that box that just popped up? If you touch on it or click on it, you'll be sent over to a booking site, and we can get together and have a conversation.